So, the Costcappen scandal. I think it's the best name to call it. I think it's a very funny name to call it as well, very tongue-in-cheek. And it doesn't feel like it's undermining the whole kind of seriousness of the situation. For those of you who aren't aware, a couple of weeks ago we were told that the FIA were about to publish their first season's cost caps, like certificates for people who stayed within the limits. We were told that 9 of the teams would be receiving 8 of the teams would be receiving a certificate. One of them would possibly not for procedural errors, and another one for a minor overspend, which is less than 5%. Or it was one minor, one major, which was greater than 5%. We found out Aston Martin made procedural errors. We don't know what they are yet. Williams made procedural errors now, it's because they didn't declare theirs on time. We don't know the bottom of Aston's yet. And the minor overspend, it was Red Bull, which is somewhere in the region of, just as a ballpark thing, let's say 150 million for the budget cap. 5%, 7.5 million tops. Now I love how people are guessing, oh no, maybe it's 1 million, maybe it's between 3 and 4, because we don't actually know anything. And my favourite thing was somebody's hot take saying, oh, it was the catering. Because Milton Keynes is definitely known for, well, catering as that expensive, let's say. But either way, what I found really funny is you look at Bonotto and Wolf, who were saying that it's worth half a second a lap if they're spending 5 million extra on development. But a couple of years ago they were saying it was 2/10. I think it's more likely to be 2-3 tenths. But the problem that you've got is the intent and the knock-on effects. And this is where the FIA had to be very clever with how they punish Red Bull, if they do. Because since Red Bull have said that they disagree with the FIA's findings and they've insinuated legal action, I hope that they go down that route, because I want to see it like all laid bare in front of us. I want to see us knowing exactly what it is, exactly the kind of figures, because that kind of transparency is, I think, something we need in the process. Same for all 10 teams. I think we need that kind of transparency. It's annoying that we don't have it. Largely because, well, as a number crunching nerd, I want to be able to know how each team's doing and what each team's doing. I think that is a really cool thing to do. But yeah, how do we punish Red Bull? Well, the reduced CFD time, I don't know. Reduced budget for future seasons, maybe. But that's one that has a lasting legacy, especially if you keep overspending by like 5-10%. That would be losing however many million a year, which would mess you over in the long run when there are multiple rule cycle changes. But that would require you to wait until there are rule cycle changes to really take the hit. Whereas last season, Red Bull went over for Max Verstappen's title bid. It wasn't a manufacturer's title bid. They weren't going to be able to do that. They weren't going to be able to topple Merc, because Merc had the strongest pairing out of the two teams. I know people say, oh, but look at McLaren, look at Ferrari. But out of the two teams that were competing for the titles, Merc had the better pairing. At least they did last season. And yeah, they put the money in to make Max win the title. So I think if they are to punish points wise, they have to punish Max, even if it means giving Lewis number 8 nearly 12 months on in the courtroom, not because of Mercedes. I think that would be the best way to do it, because you have to judge it off of intent. If Ferrari were overspending to try and salvage Constructors' title bid, and they did, you expect them to take it away, right? I think it's the same for Red Bull. Like, as much as the fact that Constructors is the thing that pays, Red Bull is Red Bull. They don't necessarily need the money. But I was interested to see a lot of people who are typically pro-Red Bull getting annoyed, because Red Bull had supposedly laid off a lot of staff so they could keep paying their staff a decent amount to stay within the budget cap. And now, since they've broken it, there are a lot of people who are either the former staff or knew the former staff who were like, Is it fair that I lost my job so they could stay within the budget, but they couldn't even stay within the budget? Like, what's my job that pays, like, if you're in that team, something like 30 grand, 40 grand to a £7 million overspend? I mean, even to £1 million overspend, it's not really that much. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.